Hey guys, it's Minkeyman, and yesterday a bunch of news dropped regarding Neo Moco, and so I thought I'd make a video here covering basically everything that they've announced. There's a lot of stuff to get into, and it's pretty exciting, honestly. I wasn't even expecting them to announce this much, honestly. So let's just jump into it because we have a lot to cover. The biggest part of this update is the new classes. But before we get into the classes, we are going to be covering all of the other stuff. So starting off, the profile is going to be a lot more customizable. There's a bunch of different stats that you have for your weapons that you're able to have on it. You also have a bunch of different badges which you're able to put on your profile. You're also able to show off your weapons and mastery on your profile, which is of course also a new part of this update. The weapon mastery is one of the things that I'm probably the most excited about. As you can see here, there's basically a progression track that you're able to go on, and at the end of it, you are able to unlock a title and also a skin for the weapon. Apparently, it is kind of like an overlay type of skin, so nothing too crazy, but that's still really exciting. I love the idea of being able to grind for skins. As you all know, with the game currently, you are able to choose from a massive amount of worlds, rifts, and also you have the verses, and so they're going to be changing this pretty drastically. In its place, there's going to be rotating game modes, and one of the craziest parts about this is the fact that according to the game devs, we are going to be getting brand new game modes every 4 hours, and these are genuinely custom one-of-one game modes where we are getting new ones every few hours. So in these screenshots, there are a bunch of different options available. That's just because of the fact that they are allowing for the people on the developers build to go through and explore as much as possible. When this update actually releases, there are going to be 6 events open at a time. Personally, the worlds are my favorite part of the game, and something that looks pretty cool is the fact that we are going to be getting these more specialized worlds. As you can see in this screenshot, you have this really tiny world. This is essentially a piece of the kitty cat city. There's really a lot of different things that they're going to be able to do with that now that they are customizing the worlds a little bit heavier for each time that a event is released. And so with each of these game modes and events, you are going to have a few objectives to complete with them. It's basically the same thing as the jobs that we have right now. Now, before we start going over all of these classes, it's important to address probably the most questionable part of this update. That is the fact that they are just completely removing progression from the game. Aside from the cosmetic rewards that you get from mastery and unlocking classes, which is something that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, there is absolutely nothing that you can do from playing the game that's going to increase your power. It is nice that everybody's on the same playing field, but I do think that there needs to be something that you're getting in return for putting in the time. The idea that we're going to be missing out on the feeling of getting stronger, that's pretty disappointing. I think maybe this is something that isn't going to be permanent. Maybe sometime in the future, there's going to be some sort of progression that we get for upgrading our characters. Maybe not as drastic as it was before, but for now, there's absolutely nothing that you can do to increase the power of your character in the new Neo Moco update. All right, so now it is time to begin covering the new classes for Neo Moco. We have 8 of them that are dropping at the start of the update, and these classes are the Speed Shot, the Techno Fist, the Wolf Stick, the Vibe Shifter, the Lava Shield, the Poison Bow, and the Headbanger. So you start the game with the Speed Shot. After that, you are able to purchase all the other classes for 1,000 class tokens each. You get class tokens from a bunch of different progression paths, including the new mastery system. So with the Speed Shot, you're of course shooting arrows. Your first ability is a normal dash. You also have a heal that works like a passive heal, kind of like the vitamin shot. You also have an ability that shoots down a bunch of arrows from the sky, and then the arrows explode. It's kind of cool. And then finally, you have an ability where you're shooting an ice arrow and it slows down the enemy that you hit. So a pretty simple weapon, of course. Up next, we are gonna talk about the poison bow. The poison bow definitely sounds pretty fun. So you shoot arrows. Every fourth arrow shoots out 3 arrows that pierce through things. All 3 of these abilities work together in a pretty neat way. So the first one, you press it and it instantly deals damage to all of the monsters that you have poisoned. It then renews the poison for 6 seconds, and then any enemy that is close to the monster also gets poisoned. Sounds like a pretty crazy chain reaction. Then you also have the ability to remove the poison from all of the enemies, and then it does some damage to them and stuns them. And then your final ability is that you're able to heal up based off of all of the guys that you've poisoned. So it looks like the more that your ability meter is charged up, the more. All right, up next, we have the wolf stick. This one also has a normal dash. Not all of them have that. That's why I'm prefacing it with that. So this one, of course, you summon a wolf after hitting enough guys with your weapon. So your first ability is that you're able to shoot out a piercing attack. It knocks you back a little bit, and it also charges up one of your wolf's abilities, which we'll cover now. Your wolf essentially gets rabies. It becomes immune to stuns, slows, and pushbacks, and its attack speed goes up, and its attacks also heal itself and you. The more that you have this charged up, the more crazy that this wolf guy is gonna go. Your final ability is that your wolf grabs the attention of all of the enemies. That one sounds really helpful. It's definitely really good to have a redirecting summon. Up next, we have the Vibe Shifter. This is the updated Staff of Good Vibes. One of the most interesting parts about this weapon is that you're able to switch between using the healing and the damage. That's how it switches from the Staff of Good Vibes to the Staff of Bad Vibes. One side of it does damage, the other side of it does healing. You still have that big move where you're either doing damage or healing, a big circle around you after charging up the staff. You also have a area stun that you're able to use and a flower that you can place down, and that's going to heal up everything around you. And of course, the dash. All right, now we have the lava shield. With the lava shield, you take 25% less damage from all sources. Your first ability is that you're able to dash forward, and that does a little burst of area damage, and that stuns. Your second ability shields you from all damage, and once the shield breaks, it explodes, which stuns enemies and deals damage. And then also you're able to taunt enemies like the wolf. This is definitely helpful given the fact that you are a tank. And then your final ability is the one that you charge up from getting hit by enemies. You heal yourself and you do damage around you. It also pushes back enemies and stuns them. Like a lot of these other abilities, this is definitely really helpful for boss fights with a lot of different enemies in them. Up next, we have the squid blades. These definitely look fun. So with your weapon, you're basically just stabbing really, really fast. So you have a special dash where you dash forward in a straight line and then you deal damage to the first monster that you hit. Your first ability is that you throw a bunch of blades in like a cone shape. Your next ability is that you become invisible for 5 seconds. You are able to attack during this, but enemies are not able to see you. You can still get hit by things if you just happen to be in the way of the damage, but things are not going to target you. And then your final ability is that you throw piercing blades in all directions around you. As this happens, you are completely immune to stuns, and hitting enemies heal you. This weapon definitely looks really fast paced. Probably gonna be one of the ones that I'm running the most, but I feel like I'm gonna end up using this weapon even more, and that is the Techno Fist. One of the main reasons for that is because you are able to switch between 3 different skills, and it looks really interesting. So the first one is essentially the classic Techno Fist. You are shooting a blue orb that bounces around all the different guys. Every time that you fill up your ability meter, you get a tiny speed boost, along with, of course, the bigger orb that bounces along more guys. This speed boost also applies to teammates that are around you. Then you are able to switch to the ability to fire out these red pulses. These ones do really good single target damage, and every single time that you're able to fill up that ability meter, you and your teammates get a attack speed boost. Then finally, you're able to switch to it sending out green pulses that heal you and your teammates. So the versatility of this class is just crazy. And now this is going to be the final class that we are covering, is the Headbanger. This honestly seems like the most interesting weapon to drop from all of this news. You are swinging and dealing a big area of damage in front of you. Your first ability is that you're able to dash, and then that dash damages enemies on its path. Your next ability is that you leap up in the air, and then you do area of effect damage on your landing, and that landing is targeted onto the enemies. Your next ability is that you send a big shockwave in a straight line in front of you that deals damage and stuns. And then your final ability is that you start spinning around, doing area of effect damage, and then also immune to stuns, kind of like the spin sickle. You're also healing yourself as you're dealing damage during this ability. And so there are other classes, but I'm not going to cover them. I'm not super sure which ones are going to be coming out right away aside from these ones. So I don't want to talk about those ones right now if they don't end up coming out anytime soon. I'll leave some videos in the description if you want to find out more information on this stuff. Huge shout out to those people. I did take footage from them. I don't have the developers build, so I kind of had to. I don't know about you guys, but I found the news to be pretty exciting. The future of Moco is looking brighter, which is very good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It definitely ended up being longer. There was a lot of information to cover here. I tried to do what I can to keep it concise though. Let me know how excited you guys are for this update. Make sure to join Binkytalk if you haven't. That is my Moco group. The link for it will be in the description. Like and subscribe for more Moco content in the future. We are pumping out videos right now. And with that, that marks the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.